Part 2 is a top 3 part because it perfectly shows how bizarre this show is. Yep, we're back with more JoJo hot takes. This is part 5. Part 5 of JoJo hot takes. But I'm only doing this because I know y'all want more. And to add on, let's start with the first one I just read. Do I think part 2 is a top 3 JoJo part? For me personally, no. But would I be mad at you saying that? No, I wouldn't. Part 2 is an excellent JoJo part. It literally personifies all the bizarreness it can in one part in 12, 13 episodes. It's insane. I love part 2 so much. If it was longer or if we had more side missions between Caesar and Joseph, I feel like it would be higher on my personal list. But with it only being 13 episodes, that's why I have it lower. But I can get why people have part 2 so high. It is such a bizarre, funny, almost perfect story all the way through. I have a feeling that Civil War is at the very least a top 3 part 7 stand. In terms of the whole series, I think it will probably be top 8. The Locke and Mr. Tamani arc was intriguing, but Civil War conveys the concept of weaponized guilt better. It reminds me of swamp action in MGS3 or powder hallucinations in Arcane. Plus, stands are always connected to the user's ambitions. Smooth operated to change Dragona's appearance, White Snake and company to achieve heaven, but this one is so deeply personal, connected to Ro, that it's probably the best example of connected to the ambitions concept. Keep in mind, I don't like Guns N' Roses one bit, but this is a great stand concept. I personally agree. Now, top 3, I feel like it could be argued because there are stands that we don't know the feats of for real, like Ballbreaker, but Ballbreaker does have insane feats, so I feel like you could put that over Civil War, but Civil War can definitely be put up high. But the part where I mainly agree is the fact that Civil War is a great stand concept. I feel like it's one of Araki's best stand concepts because weaponized guilt in such a way like that, oh my god. The only people who can escape it are people who really don't feel guilty, i.e. Funny Valentine. Like, that was so funny. Bro, he pulled up out of nowhere, gun in hand, shot him like 4 times and took the corpse. But yeah, I do feel like Civil War is a great stand. I feel like it's a great stand concept, and I do feel like it's extremely strong. I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but I think Wonder of You is one of the best stand designs. It just looks so menacing. I wouldn't call that a hot take either, but that's 100% true, so we gonna let it slide. Jonathan being underrated, quote unquote, doesn't make him good. Not even underrated, he's overrated. Wow. If anything, I feel like Jonathan's more so underrated-ish to the perfectly rated because he's downplayed by a lot of people, but like overrated, I don't even hear too many people move him past bottom or top 8 Joestar. If you move him to top 3 Joestar, people usually in the comments are like, bro, move him out of there. Why you gotta talk about my GOAT like that? What did Jonathan do? What did my GOAT Jonathan do to you? He can't just chill. Part 6 is better than part 5 and always has been. Used to get crucified for saying this before even part 4 anime came out. Me personally, I do have part 6 over part 5, but I don't think it's like some super big gap. Like on my personal rankings, if Stone Ocean's at 3rd, part 5 is at 5th. You know what I mean? But I do feel like a lot of Golden Wind fans don't want to hear that, so they're ready to crucify anyone and everyone moving part 5 out of a top 3 part, which I can get writing for your favorite part, but sometimes y'all be a lot. But I could say that about a lot of different other parts. Part 3 fans, part 7 fans, sometimes part 6 fans. Yeah. With part 2 fans, it's more so when you have Joseph Joestar on the lower end of Joestars, then they get angry, which somewhat understandable. To end it off, AU Diego sucks ass and ruins the pacing of Steel Ball Run's ending. The fight was great, don't get me wrong, but the fact that it's not the Diego that we've been following throughout the part lessens the emotion for me. Yeah, Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm not gonna lie. I just felt like when he showed up, I was more so confused than excited to see the world. You know, it was still cool, but I was still confused. And then once I got it, I was just like, oh, I thought Valentine was the last fight. But, you know, I can still understand somewhat what Araki wanted to do. It was a lot of fan service, which some fans ate it up. Other fans, they just weren't feeling it, you know. I was somewhat feeling it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought the last 5 chapters would be him, really be wrap-up chapters. But Araki, he always, you know, tries to keep us expecting the unexpected. So I'm not giving my guess. It's still an move. You know what? Why not do one more? I have one more, which I feel like it's actually going to get the comments low-key, maybe in the uproar. Hot take. Bruno is the best JoBro in the entire series. Yes, in my opinion, I put him above Gyro. Now, the thing is, I hear a lot of people be like, you can't put anyone above. Like, they have Gyro so high, they'll put like a gap between 1 and 2. And I just be like, whoa, y'all are tweaking. Now, me personally, I don't know. I don't have, for either one, I love both of them so much. I don't have a personal opinion on who I think is better or who I think is worse. But I know a lot of people, they don't feel the same way. Now, I personally met and have mutuals with a lot of JoJo fans who do, and who actually do like both of them and have both of them at 1 and 2. But Bruno was different, so I can always respect if someone puts him at 1. I can, because sometimes, depending on the day of the week, I might put him at 1. You know, you can never trust me with a JoBro ranking. That's why I always say like top 5, top 3, top 2, because sometimes them top 5s, they're interchangeable. When you rewatch and remember everything they did, they be like, oh, maybe I gotta move them up. And that's really how it felt like whenever I make videos on Bruno, especially like standalone videos, 10, 12-minute videos. Bro, I'm going through all this research. I'm like, oh, he did do that, and he did that, and he did that. So low-key, I can respect it. In all honesty, I can respect it. I know some people can't, which I'm interested to hear what opinions are on all the hot takes I've said today, and what more hot takes y'all have in the future. But if you enjoyed the video today, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.